Hi, everybody. Today I'm over at the board office on some meetings. So since you are going to be doing the review on your own, I thought I would make you a video showing you the solutions in case you get stuck. Again, this is for you in case you don't know what to do or in case you need to check your answers. I do not expect you to go through and just watch this video and write down what I say. Okay, so please try it on your own. Your test will be tomorrow. It will be the last grade of the quarter. So, first up, I'm supposed to be solving equations. Remember that we are isolating the variable. So, in number one, simply subtract 13 from both sides. M will then be -5. Again, how do we check this? You go back and you plug in -5 for M and see if it actually equals 8. If at any time you need to stop and pause this video to catch up, please do so. In number two, we're isolating the C. Well, first I gotta get rid of the 1/2. It's a positive 1/2, so we'll subtract it. Please notice there's still a negative in front of the C, and you get -24 and 1/2. Finally, we gotta isolate that C. You see the negative in front of there? There's a -1. So let's divide by -1. And you get C equals a positive 24.5 or 24.5. Next, we're getting a little bit more complicated. I've got variables on both sides. So we're going to move the smaller variable over. Of course, this is after I've realized that I cannot combine anything on either side. Remember, we do this once on each side, only under the x's. And now we're back to isolating the variable. Removing what's small or farthest from the variable on the same side. In this case, it was a 16. So x is -3. Okay. In number 4, you'll see that we need to do some distributing first. Please be careful with your signs. A negative times a negative is a positive. And please be sure you distribute to everything in the parentheses. Now we're ready to move our smaller variable over. And drop down what's left. Now we move what's farthest away from the variable on the same side. And isolate the h. Now, when you divide 3 by 13, you're going to get a pretty ugly decimal. So just keep it as the fraction. Once you get that decimal on your calculator, you should know how to turn that into a fraction by now. All right, we're getting into more and more steps here. First up, we need to distribute. Be careful when you're typing your fractions in your calculator. Now, I've got some things that I can combine. Those x's can go together. If I put them all together, I get 4 x's. Well, if we move our variables together, you'll see that the variables cancel out and we get 20 equals 20. Is that true or false? Well, 20 does equal 20. So this is all real numbers. Any number that you can think of will work. Number 6, we get an absolute value equation. Remember, with the absolute value equation, you need to make sure there's nothing around the absolute value. In this case, there isn't. It's all by itself on the left side. So we're going to set up 2 versions. You'll set up the positive version and the negative version. Notice that what was inside the absolute value did not change at all. And now we're just isolating. And remember, you should get 2 answers for these. 2 answers for absolute value equations. Number 7, we've got another absolute value equation, but there's things around it that we need to get rid of. The first thing I need to get rid of is the 2. That's farthest away from the absolute value on the same side. So we'll subtract it once on each side. The next thing I need to get rid of is the negative 1. It's being multiplied times the absolute value. So we'll divide it. And now I'm ready to set up my 2 versions. The positive version and the negative version. Isolate the variable. Again, please stop, pause if you need to on this video. Number 8 is just a regular old equation. I need to isolate the y. So the first thing I got to get rid of is the 2, and the 2 is positive, so I'll subtract it. Divide to get rid of the negative 7, and y is 6. Number 9 has absolute values in it, but you don't see an equal sign. So I just need to substitute in what t and n are, and then figure out what this thing equals. The 3 is being multiplied by the t, so I'll do multiplication. Order of operations tells me to multiply first. Now we do what's inside the absolute value bar. And now we need the absolute value of negative 11. Well, absolute value is a number's distance from 0. Well, negative 11 is 11 away from 0. Distance cannot be negative. Okay, next, let's go on to the word problem portion of this review. So you need to read carefully, decide what your unknown is. I want to find the height of a cone. Well, if you look up there, height is h. They also tell me the volume is 66, so that will go in for V. And the radius is 3, so that will go in for R. My new equation with all that plugged in looks like that. Well, I know 3 squared is 9. And I can also take this 1/3 and multiply it by the 9. Remember, you're allowed to multiply anything you want together. So I now have this. Well, I need to solve for h. You can tell the 3 and the pi are being multiplied by the h, so we're going to divide by it. And I get h equals approximately 2.33. Number 2, please pause this video and read to find your unknown. The unknown is the number of weeks. I'm going to call it W. Well, he starts with $1,350 in his bank account. And each week he's depositing money, so he's adding $40 each week. So we'll call that 40W. He wants to reach a goal of $2,250. Isolate the W. Divide by 40, and W is 22 1/2 weeks. Number 3, please pause to read the video or read the question to find your unknown. It says how long did it take him? We're talking about hours here for how long. So I'll let H be hours. Just to buy the part, it's going to cost 75 bucks. Then on top of that, the mechanic charges $50 per hour. And the total bill was $350. So let's solve. The H is 5 1/2 hours, or 5.5. Number 4, please pause this video and read for your unknown. We are trying to find the actual length, so I'll just call that X. Now, if you look at this, we're talking about inches and feet. We're talking about two different things, so we're going to set up a proportion where a fraction equals a fraction. So, first of all, they tell me that 3/4 is equal to 5 inches. So I'll take 3/4 and I'll put it over 5. Equals, they also tell me the blueprint is 12 inches. Well, I've got inches on top. So my 12 will go on top and the X will go on bottom. Next, you will cross multiply. And isolate the X. Please pause this video and read for your unknown. We want the value of X so they have the same area. Well, these are rectangles. In order to find the area of a rectangle, you take length times width. So here's my length times my width, and here's my length times my width. It does not matter the order in which you multiply. It does say they need to be the same though, so I'm going to put an equal sign between them. Let's distribute. Let's get our X's together. And let's isolate the variable. X is 15. Now I could ask you for your dimensions here. Okay, so if we look at this first rectangle, this would be 25 by, if you put a 15 where that X is, 15 minus 6 is 9. And the other rectangle would be 15 by 15, so really that'd be a square. Number 6, please pause to find your unknown. The unknown is how many visits. I'll call that V. We have members and we have non-members. Members pay 120 bucks up front. They get free parking and they can purchase passes for $2 per day. Now remember, a day is the visit that you're on. So we'll say 2V. Non-members, they have to pay $12 per visit, $5 for parking every time they go, and they have to pay $5 for a ride pass. They want to know when they will have the same cost, so we're going to set them equal. First thing I need to do is combine my like terms, and that'll give me 22 visits over here. Move our variables together by subtracting the 2V, and I get 120 equals 20V. Divide by 20, and V is 6. So 6 visits and their cost will be the same. Okay, so in number 1, I'm going to find percent of increase or decrease. First of all, if I look at my numbers, this is a percent of decrease. It's going down. To find your percent of decrease, you got to figure out how much it changed. So you're going to subtract the two numbers, and you're going to put it over the original number. So in this case, it'll be 16 over 80. Divide those, and you get 0.20. Now to turn that into a percentage, you're going to multiply that by 100, and you'll get 20%. Number 2, we're discounting and then we're adding sales tax. So first up is the discount. I want to take 10% off of $32. That's $3.20. So if I'm taking that off, I'm going to subtract it. It's a discount. And I'll get $28.80. But now I need to pay tax. So I need to take that $28.80 and I have to pay 6% tax. Well, if you move your decimal, it's 0.06. You move it 2 spots and you get $1.73. Well, tax is on top of what you're paying. So that means we need to add it to what we will be paying. And you get a total price of $30.53. All right, so in this one, we've got a 25% off the regular price, but it already told me that I have a sale price of 12%, so really that 25% is irrelevant. Now it's being moved to a clearance table, so now it's 40% off. So if I take my $12 and find 40% off of that, I get $4.80. Well, I'm taking it off of my $12, so we'll subtract. And that will give me $7.20. In number 4 here, I'm trying to find the original price. Okay, the original price of the patio set. Well, it was $222 after she used a gift card. So I better add on that $50 from my gift card, and I get a price of $272. But this is 4/5 of the original price. Well, 4/5, means to multiply. And I don't know the original price, so I'm going to use X. So to isolate our variable here, we'll divide by 4/5. And I get an original price of $340. All right, when we move on to our last section here, we are just trying to isolate whatever variable they tell me to. So you will move what's farthest from the variable on the same side. In number 1, that'll be the 5x. I'm going to subtract it. Please remember that you cannot put the 10 and the 5x together. I typically like to write my variables first, so it looks like that. You could have had the 10 first and then the minus 5x. Now we need to divide by -1. The entire thing gets divided by -1. So this will be a positive 5x and then a minus 10. And the y is isolated. In number 2, we're isolating the y again. So first I'll move my x's over. Again, you can have that 9 before the 5x, that's okay. Everything is divided by -3. Well, 5 doesn't divide by -3 without a repeating decimal, so we'll just leave it as -5/3 x. And then I have a plus 3 on the end because a -9 divided by a -3 is a positive 3. Finally, I want to solve for b1, which is right here. The first thing I need to get rid of is a half. Well, I'm going to divide by a half on both sides. Remember, there's a 1 in front of that a, so if you take a 1 and divide it by a half, you'll get 2a, and then I'll rewrite the rest of my equation. Next, I need to get rid of the h. Don't distribute that h, get rid of it. So I have 2a over h equals b1 plus b2. Lastly, I need to get rid of the b2, and we're going to subtract it. Now be careful when you write this, because the minus b2 needs to go right in line with your fraction. And now we have b1 isolated. Please come prepared for your test tomorrow. Like I said, it will be the last grade of the quarter, and I hope you all have a great day.